Y'all, first, let's talk about that absolutely iconic moment with Joan Rivers that literally changed everything. You know the one I'm talking about, where she just casually dropped that bomb about Barack and Michelle Obama, and the timing of what happened after. Well, let's start with that clip.
Miss Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
we
president?
already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
a transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She does this.
Can we just talk about how crazy it is that Joan Rivers passed away just weeks after making those comments? Like, the timing is just too suspicious. And honey, let me tell you, the internet has been absolutely exploding lately with theories about everything, from Barack supposedly being on the down low to Michelle's true identity. It's like every single day there's new tea being spilled. Y'all, I've spent days going down this rabbit hole, and my jaw has been on the floor the entire time. You know how people have always commented about Michelle's more athletic build? Well, some folks have gotten really creative with their theories. I'm not just talking about random internet gossip. People have gone as far as creating elaborate Photoshop investigations to prove their points. But here's where it gets really interesting. Apparently, there have been multiple occasions where Barack himself supposedly slipped up during speeches and interviews, calling Michelle either Michael or Mike. Not just once, not twice, but several times. Like, how does that even happen? What are the chances? Now hold on to your seats because this next part is going to blow your mind.
Distinguished guests, and men and women of the finest military in the world. Most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah. Michael and I also want to acknowledge your son Jack, who's
keep the noise levels up.
Want to make sure he knows we're coming, or she.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if she's got some cubs, that's when you really got to worry.
Yeah. You know what my kids asked me? They said, you've got to ask the president, does anything scare him?
You know, well, when when Michelle's mad, I get worried.
Okay, so let's dive deeper into this marriage mystery. You know how most first ladies love sharing their journey to motherhood? Well, people have been pointing out something really strange about the Obamas. They've only ever shared wedding photos. No pregnancy pictures of Michelle with Malia and Sasha, and mysteriously no photos of the girls until they were like 3 to 6 years old. Now, Michelle tried to explain this by saying the girls were conceived through IVF, but honey, some people aren't buying it. There's this whole theory circulating that Dr. Anita Blanchard might be the girl's real mother, and get this, she's supposedly the same doctor who delivered the Obama daughters, and the plot thickens. People have been analyzing these vacation photos from Hawaii where the Obamas and this other family, Martin Nesbitt and Dr. Anita Blanchard, are always vacationing together. But it's not just casual vacation buddies situation. Observers say the Nesbitts were always suspiciously close, like they were keeping watch or something. But wait, because this tea is about to get even hotter. According to what people have dug up online, and Chile, they've been digging, there are supposed documents from the Illinois State Board of Elections showing that Michelle was registered to vote as a man from 1994 all the way until 2008. And wouldn't you know it? That gender marker supposedly changed right when Barack was running for president. And speaking of family drama, let's talk about Barack's half-brother Malik. This man has been out here spilling family tea left and right. He straight up tweeted asking if Michelle was actually Michael, and then 3 years later, he came back with another tweet saying he couldn't confirm or deny the legend of Big Mike, aka Michael Levon Robinson. The shade of it all. And he didn't stop there. He's been tweeting about this as recently as 2024, still insisting that Michelle is actually a man and the Obamas are hiding her true identity. Now, let's talk about something really disturbing. The mysterious death of Chef Tafari Campbell. This story has more twists and turns than a soap opera. Tafari wasn't just any chef, he was special. He worked in the White House and was known for creating that famous White House honey ale beer using honey from Michelle's South Lawn garden. They even released this cute video in 2012 showing him and assistant chef Sam Cass making the beer. But what happened next is where things get really strange. They say say he was paddleboarding near the Obama's Martha's Vineyard home when he supposedly lost his balance. The official story is that he wasn't wearing a life jacket, wasn't attached to the board, and struggled before going under. But honey, the details around this incident are suspicious with a capital S. First of all, it took them 2 whole days to find his body in Edgerton Great Pond. And yes, this was right near the Obamas' home. The witness, who we later found out was a woman, said she saw him struggle and tried to swim to help but couldn't reach him in time. Conveniently, Barack and Michelle weren't at the residence when this happened. But here's where it gets really weird. For over 10 days after the incident, authorities were being super secretive about even the most basic details. They wouldn't reveal who the witness was or who made the 911 call. They tried to justify this by citing some public records law exemption about active investigations, but then in the same breath said there was no foul play. Make it make sense. And hold on to your wigs because it gets even crazier. The only thing pending was supposed to be a toxicology report, but guess what? They somehow managed to lose Tafari's blood sample. Apparently, some lab intern accidentally put it with samples marked for destruction. Of all the blood samples they could have lost, it just happened to be Barack Obama's chef's. The 911 call situation is another whole mess. While the call was logged by the Edgerton Police Department, mysteriously, the details about Tafari's emergency were left completely blank. Meanwhile, every other call that night was documented properly. Their excuse? A clerical error. Chile, please? Some people are saying Tafari had head injuries when they found him, and that he was discovered in less than 4 feet of water. Plus, there are claims that hours passed between when he fell off the paddleboard and when 911 was called. And get this, supposedly Obama's personal coroner conducted the autopsy. Some folks are saying Tafari was working on a tell-all book and was unalived because of it. And if that's not suspicious enough, let's talk about Walter Scheib, another former White House chef who also died by drowning in 2015. His body was found days after he went hiking alone in what they called a mountain drainage flowing with surface runoff. 2 White House chefs, both drowning deaths. The list of people speaking out about the Obamas just keeps growing. Diana Lorraine threw shade with that tweet about Michelle's Netflix documentary Becoming, asking what exactly she was becoming. Then Stu Peters came out and straight up claimed that Martin Nesbitt and Anita Blanchard are Malia and Sasha's real parents, adding that Nesbitt is the chairman of the Obama Foundation. Even Chelsea Clinton got involved with a now-deleted tweet suggesting Barack married a man. And when Lynn Wood, who specializes in defamation lawsuits and knows not to put anything in writing they can't defend, started talking about the Obama children being adopted, Chile, the plot just kept thickening. But perhaps the most shocking claims came from Dr. Rafael Espinanzo, who supposedly took care of Michelle during the 2008 presidential campaign. Now, I can't verify this personally, but allegedly this doctor had some things to say. He claimed no medical staff were allowed near Michelle except to take vitals. And then there's this wild story about walking in on her or him in the bathroom in Trenton. He says they paid him millions for his silence, but he couldn't keep quiet after seeing what they did to this country.
I was on a night out. Had asked a limo driver if he knew anyone that would be interested in showing me around the town, and it was clear for the limo driver that I was looking for someone to enjoy the night with. The introduction was made through the limo driver.
And what happened?
We had a few drinks. I had made some comments about Warner, so we got in the limo and left, and we started drinking. I started snorting. He started smoking. I actually put my hand on his knee and started to rub up his thigh, and I performed Barack Obama.
And just when you think we've heard it all, there's this letter supposedly written by Barack to his ex-girlfriend Alex McNear. In it, he allegedly wrote about making love to men daily in his imagination, saying his mind is androgynous and he hopes to think in terms of people, not just women versus men. Now, having fantasies is one thing, but with all these other allegations floating around, and let's not forget about Joan Rivers, some people believe she knew too much and paid the ultimate price for it. The timing of her passing right after making those comments about the Obamas, some folks are convinced the Obamas had something to do with it. Y'all, I honestly don't even know what to think anymore. Every single day, it seems like new information comes to light, and each revelation is more shocking than the last. The theories, the mysterious deaths, the family secrets, it's like we're living in some kind of political thriller, except this is supposedly real life. What do you think about all of this? Was Joan Rivers really onto something? And what about all these alleged skeletons that keep falling out of the closet? The internet is absolutely buzzing with theories, and honestly, after looking at all this evidence, I can totally see see why. I need a whole bottle of wine to process all this tea. It's so much, and something tells me we haven't heard the last of this story yet. Drop your thoughts in the comments below because Chile, we really need to talk about this. And stay tuned because who knows what other secrets might come to light next. This story is far from over.